Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri and I know you guys are dying. Today's the day. The experiment on the side hustle project is concluded and we are going to go over all of the details, and there are a lot. So sit down, get something to drink, go pee right now, then sit down because you are going to be in for it in this DIY Wednesday Side Hustle Part 2 video. So while it hasn't been a full month, it's been fucking long enough. I mean, it's been just shy of a month, like 3.5 weeks. So part 1, we were going over what the plan was. You saw me painting and priming the 2 cream pieces, and I primed the 2 white pieces. So immediately after that, I got to work on the gray pieces. Let me tell you, that credenza, in the end, looked amazing. However, it was kind of a deal to get it from where it was to where it looked. So I have the gray pieces pretty much done. I put 2 lacquer clear coats on each of them. So for the most part, this table, as soon as it's dry, ready to go. Ready to get posted and sold for $1 million. This is the only piece that I purchased that isn't solid wood through and through. It's not that special of a piece, to be quite honest. It's actually kind of cheap. I could leave it just painted gray, but I wanted to give it some flair to make it a little bit more special, and to be quite honest, to make it something I would purchase if I saw on the Let Go or the Facebook Marketplace. So while it's gonna take me a little bit more time, I just think it's going to be worth it. Also too, by doing this, I do realize I'm going to cut out a large majority of the general population, because obviously things that are just kind of very neutral and plain are more acceptable to the masses. So what I'm gonna do is really going to put this piece in more of a niche market. And I know that's not a good thing when I'm trying to sell something as fast as possible for as much as possible, but I do think what I'm going to do will allow me to elevate the price on this otherwise cheap piece of furniture. This piece has 2 doors on either side. And so what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut out this center panel of each of the doors so that I just have the frame. And then I found this fabric in my fabric stash. I think it is fucking darling. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this strip, and then in that center panel of the door that I cut out, I am going to staple gun this strip of fabric. I mean, look how great this fabric looks with this paint. The 2 doors will have center panels of this amazing fabric, and I think it's just gonna kick it up a notch. So I'm literally just gonna take my jigsaw, drill a little pilot hole big enough here in the corner to fit my jigsaw blade in, and then I'm just gonna and the reason I painted them is because I really wasn't sure if I was gonna do this or not, but since I found this fabric, this little piece that I have, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it faux show. It's gonna add on some time, but I think it's gonna look super fucking cool. Don't worry, I kept a spreadsheet, I kept a Word doc, I kept everything. So on the 18th, I was able to post the little cream French provincial table, the little round drum table, the charcoal side table, and the charcoal credenza. Those 4 were up for a while before I finished the white coffee table and the white round table. I had 4 pieces up on the 18th of August, and then I had all 6 pieces up on the 31st. And now it's the 15th of September. So let me just tell you, I haven't sold everything. Now, in experiment terms, some people might say this is a failed experiment, but I don't think it's failed. I don't think it was an experiment where it was like pass or fail. It was more of a learning experiment. You know, you get on the YouTubes, most of the time you see it in like makeup hacks or kitchen hacks or whatever. Like people think these products or these little hacks are so amazing, yet they really are leaving out some key points. I wanted to be able to scientifically confirm or deny if what I was researching and the videos I was watching were true, because they make it seem fucking glamorous. I mean, I'm sure we have all been accosted by somebody that's like, did you know you could work from home and make millions of dollars? I work from home, I'm my own boss, and I make 6 figures a year. I'm sure we've all been approached. And while this is a side hustle, some people make it their hustle. And I wanted to see if they were in fact telling us the entire story, or were they making it sound a little bit too good to be true, a little bit more glamorous than it actually is. And you know, when we see these thumbnails that say sold for $7 million, is that real? And are they actually keeping track of every single thing that went in to posting this piece online? So don't you worry, I kept track of everything down to the penny, because I wanted to see if there was a legit profit in refinishing this furniture. In case you missed Side Hustle Part 1, I'll just recap really quick, but you can go watch it. I purchased 6 pieces of furniture from a couple local, like Salvation Army type places. I think I got really good pricing. Could I have hunted around and got some items for free? Probably, but I was under the gun. So I spent $112 on 6 pieces of furniture. Then I needed to go out and purchase paint, sandpaper, what have you. And I believe I spent about $150. And that's excluding the time it took me to go drive to these Salvation Armies and find these pieces. So my hard cost about $165, let's just say. I broke everything down. I have a spreadsheet. First, I was taking like hand notes, and I was leaving a notepad on my coffee table. I typically worked on 2 pieces at a time because I painted 2 pieces white, 2 pieces gray, and 2 pieces cream. I divided my time equally amongst the 2 pieces. So if I spent 6 hours total on priming, painting, what have you on 2 pieces, I decided that I spent 3 hours on the one piece and 3 hours on the other piece. But as far as supplies, all of that, I kept track completely separately. So again, this time and cost does not include me getting in my car, driving all around town, finding these pieces, loading them in my car, and bringing them home. There's a good amount of hours in that, especially if you're trying to find pieces for free and you're gonna have to drive around to different people's neighborhoods because maybe it's like trash pickup day or what have you. It just includes the minute I got these pieces home and the minute I started working on them. For the total, I figured I have a good 45 hours worth of time on 6 pieces. Now, 45 hours is more than a normal work week. I did the math. If you worked a minimum wage job, 40 hours a week, you would bring home approximately $600. Now, that's before taxes and all of that, but that gives you a gist. I spent a full week's worth of work refinishing these tables. Now, I didn't take a week off of work. I was doing that on the weekends, after work, just basically in my downtime. So I'm looking at my laptop because that's where my spreadsheet is. For the little cutie pie French provincial side table, remember what that looked like before? Check out what it looks like now. It's fucking gorgeous. To get to that point, it took me $48.39 worth of materials. That includes the price of the piece, which was $20. The little knob I purchased for the front of it, that was $4. The amount of primer I used, I mean, I didn't weigh out the primer, but basically I used a whole can of primer, so I divided that up by all the pieces. So for this particular piece, that primer cost me $4.31. Sandpaper, yes, I did keep track of how much sandpaper I used. I took the price of a packet of sandpaper, divided it out by the number of sheets of sandpaper that were in that packet, and then figured out how much sandpaper I used on each particular piece to get the money that I spent on sandpaper, and that was 97 cents. I used 64 cents worth of wood filler. I know, I'm crazy, but this is why I'm doing this experiment, because I don't know if any of these furniture refinishing people are keeping exact track. Therefore, when they say they made all of this money, did they really make all of that money if they really sat down and broke out not only how much time, but how much they spent in materials? So I kept track and I used 64 cents of wood filler. I also used $5.80 worth of that really pretty chiffon chalk paint, $8.09 in wax for the wax coating sealer thing. Every piece has a section that I'm calling brushes, rollers, general supplies. Those paint brushes don't last forever. Rollers don't last forever. Not a lot of the pieces that I purchased had a lot of flat surface to roll, which was another huge fucking mistake. A lot of the pieces I just had to hand paintbrush. I couldn't roller a lot of them. I didn't think about that when I was out buying them. Pieces with little spindly legs, not a lot of flat surfaces, those take more time. And I didn't realize how much more time until I was literally sitting on the floor with a paintbrush, painting around each little spindle, each little curve. I was pissed, actually. So if you are gonna go look for some furniture to refinish, make sure you pick furniture that has a lot of good flat surface area so that you can use a roller on like the majority of the piece. So French provincial side table, total hard costs were $48.39. Now I broke down my time and I did this for each piece. Clean and prep was about a half an hour. Prep and prime, an hour. The first coat of paint took me 1.75 hours. The second coat of paint took me 1 hour. Yep, I had to do 3 coats of paint on this piece. Took me another hour. The wax protective coat only took me about a half an hour because that's so easy. You literally rub it on, rub it off. It's beautiful. I love wax coating. Finishing details, like pulling it into a room up against a blank wall, getting some pieces to style it, posting the pictures, color correcting, not photoshopping, but just color correcting so that there's no like shadows and shit. The total time for all of that, 6 hours and 15 minutes, 6.25 hours for that. Then in my spreadsheet, I did an hourly rate because I value my time and I think I'm worth it. Sadly, nobody on the Let Go / OfferUp or the Facebook Marketplace thinks my time is worth it. But anyways, I digress. So I did a column at $20 an hour, and then I made another column lowering my hourly rate to $16 an hour. And then my third column was even lower than that at $10 an hour. So when I first posted this table, I came out guns a fucking blazing. And I posted this table for $175. Now you might think that's outrageous, but again, we all just witnessed the math. My time and the cost, that table definitely is worth $175. Well, it sat on the Facebook Marketplace and the Let Go's. Lots of people were looking at it. Lots of people got lots of views because the pictures were amazing and I styled it super awesome. It sat there at $175 until I dropped the price down to my $16 an hour rate and posted it for $150. Still didn't sell, but people were looking. Some people even asked like, is this still available? But then that was it. So it sat on there at $150 until September 4th, to where I dropped the price to my $10 an hour rate, making the table $110. Still didn't sell. And I was like, son of a bitch, I gotta sell this shit, man. Number one, I have 6 pieces of random fucking furniture in my house, and my house is not that big. I have nowhere to put it. Then on 9/9, I dropped it even lower to $80. And then on the 11th, I dropped it to $60. And this morning, I dropped it to $50. And guess fucking what? Still sitting in Davis's room. Yeah, that has not sold yet, and it has been online with price drops. And I'm not just saying like I dropped the price, because if you know anything about like Facebook Marketplace or the OfferUp, your post gets pushed down and down and down. The more people, every day, the more people are posting. So literally, instead of just like editing the post, because then my post would be way down here, I would delete my original post, repost it again with a new lower price. I've done that 5 times. So it is still sitting on both Facebook Marketplace and the OfferUp, and it has been online for some sort of price since August 18th. Yeah. I spent $48.39 in materials just on that one table. So if I sell it for $50, I will have made 25 cents an hour when all is said and done. And I'm sorry, but no, not fucking worth it. If I could keep that table, I would keep it because it is so darling. But I don't have the room for it. So I'm gonna just leave it on the let go and the offer, or on the, I call it let go, but it's really called offer up. So I'm sorry. It used to be called let go and then they changed the name to offer up, but I like let go better. So point of the story, I'm just gonna leave it sitting on offer up and I guess Facebook Marketplace at $50 until somebody fucking buys it. I can't go lower than $50. I'm not gonna pay somebody to buy this piece of furniture. Right now, at 50, my time is 25 cents an hour. Are you fucking kidding me? That is like the worst sweatshop payment ever on the planet. If I sell it at $50, and that's a big fucking if. But again, this morning I did post it at $50, and so we'll see. But in a little while, I might have to start giving these pieces of furniture as Christmas gifts to people. I don't know what else to do with them. And the thing that floors me is it is so cute. I know I'm not the only one that thinks it's so cute. It is fucking cute. Okay, maybe $175 was wishful thinking. But seriously, when I dropped it to $80, you mean to tell me nobody is gonna buy that super darling table? Really? Just saying. So that brings us to, and now I'm not gonna go in detail line by line over the materials. I'll just give you totals and whatnot. You get the gist. I kept good track of all my time. So that brings us to the round, it's called a drum table. Oh, and my descriptions, don't even get me started on my description. I went to town. I researched because some of these pieces of furniture had the maker stamp in them. So I researched it. Beautiful solid wood round side table, refinished in a light buttery chiffon paint with a durable protective satin wax coating. Storage within table makes it perfect for use as a side table, end table, or nightstand. The original antique gold hardware adds the perfect finishing touch to this unique table. Seriously, that description along with my gorgeous fucking staged photos. That's all I'm saying. So for this table, I spent $46.44 on hard costs. The table itself cost me $20 and I spent 6.25 hours of time refinishing it. Now, this was the very first piece that sold for me. It didn't sell right away at my ginormous asking price. I posted it on August 18th for $170. Had a lot of interest. This table probably had the most interest. A lot of people viewed it. A lot of people were messaging me like, is it still available? Which pisses me off. Of course it's still fucking available because I still have it for sale. The minute it sells, I'm taking it off the for sale list. So what you should be asking is, I'm in my car, can I come pick it up? And then secondly, if you are gonna ask, is it still available? And I write you back, yes it is. And then you fucking never say another word. Why'd you ask if it was available to begin with? Can you tell this experiment made me a little heated? Yeah. On August 31st, I dropped the price to $140. September 4th, I dropped the price again to $110. Then on September 9th, I dropped the price to $80. It actually sold the very next day for $80. I wasn't like super thrilled, but I was thrilled to get it out of my damn house. The time and the materials selling for $80, I made $5.44 an hour. Woohoo! So we started August 18th and I didn't sell one single piece until September 10th. That's how long these things were online for. And believe you me, I was getting super fly pissed. That brings us to the little charcoal side table. Remember what it looked like before? Look how cute I made it, right? Cost me $34.62 in materials. The piece itself was only $12. And the time it took me to refinish it was 7 hours. Why 7 hours, you ask? Because of those spindly fucking legs. I had to hand paint those. A coat of primer, 3 coats of paint, and 2 coats of varnish. That's what took me so long. Oh, this one had a maker's mark too. It was a mid-century Hayward Wakefield 2-tiered square table. I know. I posted it for $175. Didn't sell. On the 31st, I reposted it for $145. Didn't sell. On September 9th, I reposted it for $70. Didn't sell. And today, I have posted it for the bargain basement price of $40 fucking. And I can't go lower than $40 because it cost me $34 fucking in materials. No matter how much I want to get these pieces of furniture out of my house, I'm not gonna pay somebody to take it. I'd rather give it to somebody that I know or put a fucking bow on it and give it to someone for Christmas. And that brings us into the charcoal credenza, or the TV stand, or whatever you want to call it. Here's the heap of shit it looked like before, and look at how fucking amazing what I did with it. Now, like I said, I did make a decision, and I knew that making that decision to add that fabric was gonna cut my target market, I want to say, by more than half. However, interestingly enough, from the pictures, people did view it a lot. I did get a lot of asks on it. My hard costs were $66.60 because I had to buy all new hardware, plus the cost of the fabric, plus that one bottom shelf, remember, was missing. So I accounted for the wood that it took me to replace that shelf. Plus I lined those shelves. So all of that's in there. It cost me $66.60. The piece itself cost me $25 from the Goodwill. And it took me 11 hours to redo. 11 hours. So on the 18th, I went for it and I posted it for $280. Didn't sell. On the 31st, I dropped the price to $240. On September 4th, I dropped the price again to $175. On September 9th, I dropped the price to $120. Yesterday, I dropped the price to $90. And then today, someone came to get it and magically only had $100. And I didn't have change, so I gave it to him for $80, which kind of pissed me off. Like, it literally said $90, you agreed to $90, why didn't you stop at the fucking store and buy a bottle of water so you could get yourself a $10 bill? It's all I'm saying. So I ended up giving it to this person for $80, even though I had posted it for $90. That said, at $80, don't forget, it took me $66 in supplies and 11 hours worth of time. So selling it for $80, my hourly rate was $1.22 per hour. So worth it, right? Someone just came by to pick up the coffee table. So let's get into the coffee table, why don't we? Remember what it looked like before? It was super cute, even before. But it needed to be redone. So I redid it in white. In my total materials cost, it was $44.46. The coffee table itself cost $15. To clean it, sand it, paint it, prime it, took me 6 hours. And I just ended up selling it for $50. I made 92 cents an hour on that one. The coffee table and the white round table weren't up on Facebook Marketplace or the Let Go / OfferUp for as long as the other 4 pieces. The white pieces took me the longest to just get done because, like, I have a job, but I did get them up, first posted on August 31st for $165. The thing is that views coming out of the wazoo, comments like, is this available? Tons of, and the coffee table was the same way. And don't get me started on the guy yesterday who I want to go cut someone. Anyways, coffee table. September 4th, I dropped the price to $105, didn't sell. On September 9th, I dropped the price to $80. Didn't sell. Yesterday, I dropped the price to $60. And I had this guy say, I want this coffee table. I'm coming to get it. Perfect, great. This is the other time-consuming thing. You have got to keep your phone like volume on because you need to be on it when people message you. So I always replied in a very timely manner, like within 5 minutes, less than. And so when I reply, I always say, yes, it is available. Would you like to come by today and pick it up? Then they'll say, sure. And I'll say, when are you free? I give my cross streets only, not my address, until they say that they're on their way. The only positive about both of these places is that you don't have to give your personal information. It all goes through the OfferUp app and the Facebook Marketplace app. Like, you know, back in the day on Craigslist, which Don't worry, we'll get into that too. The guy's like, sure, great, I'll text you in an hour. And I was like, cool, okay. I was doing some stuff around the house, whatnot, and then I needed to re-up on my mocha. I went to go do that, and of course, right as I'm like pulling into the Starbucks, he sends me a text that he's on his way. So I was like, okay, sweet. I just ran to go get a Starbucks, but I'll be home in 5 minutes because the Starbucks is literally down the street. So I said, my address is yada, yada, yada. Okay, I'll be there in 45 minutes. I need to stop at the bank. So I was like, okay, well then you're not on your fucking way, dude. My garage is open. Feel free to park in the driveway. I come home, I like get the coffee table, put it like in a good viewing spot, and 45 minutes passes, nothing. An hour passes, nothing. Clearly, I mean, maybe the bank is in Wyoming. I don't fucking know. Then I start working on more projects. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit around here all day. Then like 3 hours pass, and now I'm pissed because now I've given some random my home address, thinking that they were on their way. So about 3 hours later, I just texted back saying, I'm gathering you're not coming to pick up the coffee table. He never fucking responded. So there's a dude out there that knows where I live. But some very darling girls just came to pick it up for $50. So I'm glad that guy didn't come get it. That's the coffee table. And then that brings us to our final piece, the white round 2-tiered table. Total cost was $49.46. That piece cost me $20, and I spent 5 hours of time to get it to look this fucking cute. When I first posted it on the 31st, I posted it for $150. Then on 9/4, I dropped it to $105. Then on 9/9, I dropped it to $70. And then yesterday I dropped it to $50, and $50 is where it will stay because I spent $49 in supplies. So again, I'm not gonna pay someone to sell it. And to be quite honest, that piece, I'm actually just considering keeping anyways. The area where I have my little side table now, it's kind of tiny for this space, so I might end up just keeping that one. So that will leave me with the French provincial little side table and then the gray square side table. And someone did show interest in the gray square side table. I got a lot of texts today when I dropped everything to like the bottom of the barrel, lowest price, everything must go. And like literally my description says must sell in all caps. I spent $265 on the 6 pieces, and right now I've sold 3 of those pieces and I haven't even made up the money that I spent yet. I need to sell 1 more piece for $50 in order to just get my money back. Not my time invested, just the money I invested. If I could sell the 2 remaining, maybe I'll make up like, 4 hours worth of the 45 hours worth of time it took me to refinish all of them. Yeah. Like I mentioned, I only put the pieces up on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. I've never had experience with Facebook Marketplace before. Both of them were very easy to post to. You post pictures, you write a description, you put the price. Very easy. I've had experience with selling things on OfferUp before, but everything I posted on OfferUp, I posted for dirt fucking cheap. Remember at the old house, that huge pile that it was like, I'm having a garage sale. Well, I never did have a garage sale, so I took the bigger like furniture pieces and I sold them for dirt cheap, like $10 cheap. And they went like hotcakes. But then, things weren't selling. And so John decided he was gonna post everything to Craigslist, which I said, it's just gonna be a waste of time because Craigslist is a fucking shit show. And I guarantee any interest you get, they're gonna be like, and I have a cashier's check for $1,000. You just give me the change. Yeah, basically, that's what Craigslist was. He got tons of interest, tons of offers, but they were all super scammy, and not one of those on Craigslist panned out. It was just a waste of his time. Great effort, but a total waste of time. So Craigslist, don't even think about it. No. So now my final thoughts. Like I said, I hope you went pee and you have a snack and a drink because I told you for a DIY Wednesday that I'm not even DIYing shit, this is gonna be a long one because it's just, I don't know what to think. I'm torn. I don't want to think that all of these furniture refinishers that I love watching on YouTube, I don't think that they're lying, but I do think that they're not telling us the full story. I don't think that they're telling us how long it takes before they sell a piece, what they originally priced it for, and what they ended up having to come down to in order to sell it. You know, I've seen, this is what floors me. Granted, I know I was slow. What did I learn? Be faster. But I was being such a perfectionist. The pieces I refinished, there is not a flaw on them. You can't see a fucking brush stroke. There's not a drip. They look amazing. I took way too long. I spent way too much time refinishing each one of those pieces. I realize that. And maybe the more pieces that you do, the quicker that you will get. However, I've literally watched some of those furniture refinishing YouTube videos. They tell you that they did a whole fucking 6-drawer dresser in 2 hours. I call bullshit. 100% bullshit. Because there is no way that you can wash, sand, wipe down, prime, paint, clear coat, put new hardware on, and then take pictures of in 2 hours. There is zero way that that can be done. Zero way. I don't believe that. So maybe they're not keeping as good of track of their time as I took of my time. While I believe that, you know, they bought a piece for, you know, $20 or got a piece for free and sold it, you know, for $100 or whatever. I believe that. I just don't think that their margin is as big as they make it sound. Number 2, these people that we see on the YouTube, they did not just start refinishing furniture yesterday or a month ago. This is something they've been doing for a very, very long time. And like I said, this is their only job. They have the time and the energy to promote their posts, keep an eye out, put their posts out on social media. You know, they have the time to do that. I didn't have that time. I refinished them, I posted them. That's it, I gotta go to work. They also probably have, because both OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, people can follow you just like they do with any other social media thing. So they've probably built up a pretty good following. So people know, like, they'll get an alert when they repost another piece of furniture. When I was posting something, no one was getting notified. It was just someone had to be looking for a fucking white coffee table in order to see my post. Even then, if they didn't look for a white coffee table within the hour of me posting it, they'd have to go through all the millions of other white fucking coffee tables before they got to the picture of mine. Number 3, I don't know what their backstory is. I don't know how much money their significant other makes. Maybe they have the room in their house or the room in their garage to sit and store pieces for months and months and months and months and months before they sell it. I don't have the room, I don't have the time, plus I needed the money. Maybe they have enough money in their bank account that it doesn't bother them if they're not selling pieces, and they can go continue to look for new pieces and go buy new paint because they have that discretionary income. Seriously, I gotta get these pieces out of here. Storing 6 pieces for 3 to 4 weeks, not feasible, especially not in my garage because I haven't cleaned that out yet. So that's another thing. If I had the room to keep the pieces, I wouldn't have dropped the price as drastically as I did and as quickly as I did each time. I needed to get rid of these pieces. Would I have loved to have posted everything and then the next day sold everything for like damn near close to the full price that I was asking? 100%, of course, we all would love that. But what this experiment showed me is that's not a reality. That's not a reality for me, at least. And the only other thing I can think of is the location. Maybe everybody in my town and my surrounding towns are just fucking cheap bastards. But the thing is when I scroll through OfferUp, there are people in my area refinishing furniture just like I did, because you can tell they're beautifully painted, they're staged photos, and they're trying to sell them for expensive. They're still up there right now. But maybe where I live, there is not a market on an OfferUp and a Facebook Marketplace for higher priced refinished furniture. And maybe in, you know, the YouTube channels that I watch, maybe they live in markets where people go to find nicer pieces of furniture. Maybe in my area, you have to have like a booth at an antique store or a little shop on Main Street or whatever. Maybe in my area, people only use the Facebook Marketplace and the OfferUp to find cheap shit, because I feel like I did everything that I could to the best of my ability to sell these pieces. They didn't fucking sell. They just didn't fucking sell. Or they did sell, but it was for hella fucking cheap. And the second thing is I really enjoyed refinishing those pieces. Did they each take a long time? And was I like, fucking shoot me in the head by like the third coat of paint? Yeah, I was. However, I did really enjoy it. I really loved taking something that did not look that awesome and turning it into something amazing looking. I honestly wish I could have kept all of those pieces in my house, because I did a really fucking good job on refinishing them. No lie. I did amazing. For the price I paid, then my time, I much rather would have kept them than sold them for fucking dirt cheap. But I ain't nobody got the room. The only thing I may keep, like I said, is that round white table if that doesn't sell. That cute little cream table is so cute. Those two pieces are just gonna sit there until they magically sell. I'm not dropping the price any lower. It is what it is. I even went in and marked like firm on price. If you don't wanna give me $50, don't fucking message me, because it's not happening. So, because I already have a job, because of the amount of time, and because of just basically the sheer disappointment, sitting here going, I cannot believe no one is buying this beautiful table that and you know, maybe I just need to be less emotional about it. But I'm like, I love it. It's beautiful. Why isn't someone wanting to pay, $110 for this table? It's fucking gorgeous. You can't go to like the Moore furniture store and buy a table for $110. So why aren't you buying mine? And so then it's kind of like hurts your feelings that no one's buying your shit when you think it's amazing. So for the disappointment, the amount of time that it took me, don't forget, all said and done, like 45 fucking hours. The fact that I had a job, I gotta get this house in order. You've all seen it. I'm still working on that damn checklist. Ain't nobody got time to just refinish furniture every hour on every weekend and every night when I get home from work. It's not happening. So for the amount of money that I made, this side hustle, sadly, is not for me. Now, could it be a good like retirement gig? Maybe. Something to do in your downtime. Maybe you just have nothing to do and you need a hobby. And if you sell a piece for, maybe double your money of what you spent for it, great. But that's not what I'm looking for right now. I was strictly looking to see if refinishing furniture for me in my area, and maybe for you in your area, is a feasible thing to do. And to be quite honest, it's not. I mean, over a month's time, the only reason why I'm selling anything, which now it seems like I'm like, yeah, someone's buying this, someone's buying that, it's because it's fucking dirt cheap. I am not getting paid for my time at all. I'm barely making the money back on my cost of materials. So it's not worth it. It is just not worth it. Not right now, at least. No. And who's to say that over time it couldn't turn in to a nice side hustle? But I don't have the time to keep this experiment going. Maybe once I get this house in order and that checklist done, I can revisit this side hustle experiment for a longer duration of time. Only search out pieces that are free and keep them up, on the OfferUp in the Facebook Marketplace for a long time. I at least want to get paid minimum wage for my time. So even if me making $16 an hour plus the cost of materials, I don't know, trying to build a following, maybe posting them more on like my personal social media. But right now, I don't have time for that. I do not have time for that. If you liked refinishing furniture and you wanted to try to start a side hustle like this, it's not as glamorous as it seems. So go into it knowing it's gonna take a while. Maybe your area is different, but if your area is anything like my area, it's going to take a while. The two girls that just came to pick up the coffee table, she was like, do you do this? They're like, do you refinish furniture? I was like, no, this was just an experiment. But maybe she's the type of person that would follow someone like me if this was something that I did regularly. People would actually seek you out. Like, I've watched videos before where these gals are like, this is a commissioned piece. Like someone sought them out to refinish a piece of furniture for them. Maybe, but I don't know. All in all, I wouldn't say this was a failed experiment by any means. I think this was a very telling experiment. Because this is real life. I'm gonna tell you like it is. I think that's kind of the sad thing about these other channels. Again, I don't think anybody's lying. I just think that when someone, says they caught a fish and it was this big, people embellish the story to make it more appealing. Of course, if you can make a thumbnail that's like, I made $800 on it, yes, people are gonna watch that and click on that. But is that really real? Okay, maybe you did make $800. Are you telling us how much time it took you, how much materials? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just saying what I could tell you. Here, it doesn't sound great, but it sounds a lot better than when I tell you the full fucking story. Let me show you. Coffee table, purchased for $15, sold for $50. That sounds pretty good. Credenza, purchased for $25, sold for $80. That sounds pretty good, right? Doesn't sound too shabby. Bought for $20, sold for $80. All that sounds great until I actually tell you that, yeah, I spent $40 in materials and it took me 6 fucking hours to do. These channels, maybe they're not embellishing, but they're not telling you the shitty aspects of it. It's hard fucking work. It is not easy. You're making pennies and again, not getting paid at all for your time. And that's the thing that I just cannot get behind. I know, I need to get faster at redoing it. Wasn't thinking, dumb Sheri. The only piece that I could really use a roller on, to be quite honest, aside from the tops of the tables, was the credenza. Every other piece, paintbrush by hand, could not use a roller. The round drum table, oh my God, that was a disaster. Because it had all that detailing, had a paintbrush, couldn't use a roller on it at all. So if you are gonna do it, make sure you get real simple pieces without spindly little legs because those take forever. I probably would have made more money or the same amount of money had I just had a giant yard sale. Paint all of those pieces, stockpile them up in your house, then that weekend, have a fucking yard sale. Get rid of them all at one time. That would have been way better for me. Because this bullshit back and forth with people like, is this still for sale? Yes, it is. Do you want to come get it? And then never hearing back. I gave you my fucking address and you never showed up. Now, while there are 3 other random people who have my address, they actually came and bought something from me. So maybe they'll come back and murder me, but I highly doubt it. Those 2 cute girls aren't going to come back and murder me. The little father and son that came to pick up their credenza today, I doubt they're going to come murder me. So anyways, point of the story. I'm glad I did the experiment. I'm glad that we all know now through my experience that this is what you have to look forward to. Maybe it will go better for you in your area, but chances are that just starting out, it's probably not gonna go that great initially. And you gotta be willing to put in the time. It's just like with anything. It's gonna take time before we see a return on our investment. You gotta be able to put in the hard work, invest in yourself. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. And everybody's not doing it. You know why? Because it's not fucking easy at all. So yeah, if you were thinking about getting into the furniture flipping, furniture refinishing side hustle business, I'm not saying don't. Again, you might have more success in your area than I did in my area. Learn from my mistakes. If I was smarter about it, I would have gotten out, but it was too fucking hot. What I would have done was I would have gotten out my paint sprayer, I would have lined everything up in my backyard, and I would have just spray gunned the shit. That probably would have cut down my time in half. Then I wouldn't be so pissed off about it. Like I said, learn from my mistakes. Maybe start out with 3 pieces. Maybe start out with only pieces that you can fit into your garage because they take up a lot of room. I wish it would have gone better, but I'm glad that we did this experiment so that we know what's in store for something like this on a side hustle. Maybe we think about a different side hustle. I mean, I'm willing to try anything at this point. I have a great job. I'm good at my job. I make pretty decent money at my job, but I don't want to die at my desk. So it would be nice to find something that I enjoyed doing that I could do on the side in my spare time and make a little extra cash. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like I was doing the side hustle because I need the money right now. It was just something to see if you could actually make money doing something that you really enjoy doing. Turns out, no, you can't. So there you have it, and there it is. Side Hustle Project Part 2 wasn't awesome. But we did learn a lot. Always look at the glass half full, which is not something I do regularly. But in this case, I'll look at the glass half full. Yeah. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out. And now that this experiment is finally fucking done, we can get back into some really good DIYs. Halloween is coming, and you know what that means. We are going to make some Halloween decor for sure. So make sure you have that notification bell rung so that you don't miss out on any of the DIY videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.